What's going on, guys? Fight Season MMA here, and today we are going to talk about how Dricus Du Pless is going to go in there and beat Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319. This fight is going down this Saturday. It is Thursday, so we are about 2 days away from it. There has been some cordial interaction between Dricus and Khamzat. I am so excited to see these fight between these two individuals because it is two anime characters, as they were saying in the press conference, going to battle, and no one knows who's going to win. But today I'm going to give my point on why Dricus Du Pless is going to win this fight. I've seen a lot of actual big individuals, mainly Chael Sonnen, talking about how he believes Dricus Du Pless is going to beat Mr. Khamzat Chimaev. And if you haven't seen that video, that's a great watch. Go watch it. But I am going to give my take as well on why I believe Dricus Du Pless is going to beat Khamzat Chimaev in this fight. And maybe not in dominant fashion, but he's going to do it to make it seem like Khamzat wasn't worth all the hype all along. If you guys enjoy the UFC content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That's the best way to help the channel grow. And please go watch some of my other videos. That'd be absolutely great. I just got back into YouTube, took some time off. Some absolutely weird stuff happened in my life, so definitely looking to get back forward into it. And today, let's jump into the video talking about why Dricus Du Pless is going to beat Khamzat Chimaev. So, to start with this fight, Dricus Du Pless is the underdog in this fight. I don't have the exact numbers up in front of me, but if I remember, Khamzat was like a minus 200. Dricus was probably like a plus 170. I really like Dricus Du Pless in this fight. I would not bet on it because I do believe Khamzat has all the ability to win, as the betting odds say. But I do think that Dricus Du Pless is going to have a couple avenues to win. The first intangible thing that I want to kind of talk about is Dricus' experience. And I know Khamzat has beat someone like Robert Whittaker, but I think Dricus beating Whittaker, Adesanya, Strickland, and some of those other guys too is going to really allow him to go and, put this stuff on Khamzat. He's going to be able to possibly thwart the takedown, do a bunch of different other things. And I do think that Dricus Du Pless is going to be underrated in that category. I guess the other big thing that's kind of intangible, that's a subcategory in these fights, is he's fought 5 rounds twice in his UFC career. He's been scheduled for 5 rounds 3 times in his UFC career, and he's been into the championship rounds 3 times in that career as well. Fought to the bell both times against Strickland and submitted Adesanya in the 4th round. I think Dricus is going to easily have the better cardio in this fight over Khamzat. Khamzat's cardio could be improved, but I'm not going to buy it considering that we have seen Khamzat slow down in multiple different fights, the Usman fight and the Gilbert Burns fight, to name 2 exactly, considering that those were the fights that actually got out of the first round and went to decisions. But the main thing that I want to focus on is Khamzat's shot, because I think that that is going to be the make or break in the fight. And Chael Sonnen kind of talked about how the first round is going to determine this thing completely, and I 1000% agree. I think Khamzat Chimaev is going to go out there and most likely take down Dricus Du Pless. And my favorite thing that Dricus has said throughout this entire process is he says he is going to get taken down. He will. And I think that going into the fight, knowing that you're going to get taken down, knowing that you're going to get dominated by Khamzat, is a very big step in the right direction. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to completely negate all the different things coming at him, but, if you can kind of prepare for it mentally in that regard, to when you're in that position, all the training and just pounding that you've done inside the training room is going to really help come out and fortify Dricus in this moment. I think Dricus is such a solid fighter in so many different regards. He's got a great ground game, and I do truly believe that he's going to think and really be able to withstand Khamzat Chimaev on the ground. Now, he might get put in some submission attempts, but I do think that Dricus is going to have all the ability to break out of those attempts. I truly think that Dricus is such a good all-around fighter that he's going to surprise Chimaev in a lot of different regards. Dricus is a very good anti-grappler. He was able to TKO someone like Robert Whittaker. He was able to submit Israel Adesanya for the first time ever in Izzy's career. I do think Dricus is going to be able to stop the takedown, but once he stops the takedown, how is he going to be able to take advantage on the fight? Because it's not like Chimaev is an awful striker. Now, let's look at that Kamaru Usman fight for a second. Because when that fight, Chimaev was able to get the takedown in the first round. 10-8 round, Usman survived somehow because he's one of the best grapplers the UFC has ever seen, and then was able to stuff every single takedown coming back from in the other direction, and actually won a round off Chimaev as well. Gilbert Burns, on the other hand, one of the best Brazilian jiu-jitsu artists in the UFC, wasn't even taken down, I believe, to the extent of like a Robert Whittaker or a Li Jingliang or a Kevin Holland in that fight, and he was really able to show why he is such one of the best BJJ and all-around grapplers in mixed martial arts. I think Dricus might not be on the category of those guys, but I do think he's going to be able to survive. Like I said, looking at the Usman fight, Usman was able to kind of stand up and, really look at Khamzat when he was shooting these takedowns. Khamzat is very odd. He needs one key component to get his takedowns, and that was shown in the Kamaru Usman fight, that being the fence. Khamzat's a chain wrestler. He needs to get himself to the fence and really be able to have the fence stop him, because every single time he shot on Usman away from the fence, he wasn't able to secure the takedown. Now, this could be from two reasons. One, Usman has great eyes. He was able to go and really evaluate and see what was coming at him in the direction of Khamzat Chimaev. And Kamaru Usman was able to identify it very quickly and thwart it coming at him in that direction. Two, Khamzat could have been tired. Apparently, Khamzat was dealing with a sickness in that fight, and he might not have had as much cardio or explosiveness in that second round as he will have in this round. And even that Gilbert Burns fight, he was fighting down at 170, completely depleting his body, going to fight someone much smaller than him. But I do think that Dricus is also a lot bigger than Usman and Gilbert Burns. Burns fought at 170, and Dricus is definitely bigger than Kamaru Usman because he can fight at 170 as well. I know Dricus did for a couple amateur fights or in a couple fights to start his career, but Dricus is a very big human being. Now, I don't know if he's bigger than Khamzat, because Khamzat is an absolute tank out there, but Dricus has some mass on him as well. So I really do think that he's going to be able to identify the fence, stop the takedown from there, and if Khamzat in that first round is able to get on the back, I think he's going to be able to do a bunch of different things to just survive. This is where Dricus Du Plessis can really, really take advantage, because as the fight goes longer, those takedown shots are going to be slower. They're going to be more sloppy. He's going to take them at inopportune times, and Dricus is going to be sweaty. That is such a big part of the UFC game for grapplers. Someone like Khabib Nurmagomedov was obviously dominant throughout all of his fights, but it was so much better in those early rounds because he was able to grab a hold of your opponent without the sweat making a slip and slide for him to go all the way off. Khamzat's the same way. As the fight keeps progressing, it's going to force Khamzat to stand in so many regards. And like Dricus said, Dricus doesn't even know what's going to come at him sometimes. That's a joke, obviously, but Khamzat Chimaev is absolutely going to be in a world of trouble in the stand-up game, which is crazy for me to say, considering that you see Dricus strike, and this dude looks like a helicopter out there. But Dricus Du Plessis outstruck Sean Strickland in the second fight and Israel Adesanya in their fight. He definitely outkicked Adesanya as well. And then that first fight with Strickland, it was really close, but I did have Du Plessis winning that fight, even though I thought Strickland winning was a possibility. I do think Dricus is going to be able to go out there and really put it on Khamzat Chimaev in that regard. I think he's going to be able to go out there, throw a variety of different punches, come in with a great game plan. He throws great kicks, throws great high kicks, is going to be able to truly go in there and put Khamzat Chimaev on the back burner, even though Khamzat is such a heavy pressing fighter. This isn't going to happen immediately. Dricus is going to have to go out there and put in the work and survive the first round, and this is where this fight banks on. I don't necessarily need Dricus to win the first round. I need him to survive it, and it can't be a 10-8. Dricus is going to have to get up multiple times, and he's going to have to understand that the first round is going to be the worst. He's going to have to dig down to that place that he did fighting Sean Strickland the first time, that he did fighting Adesanya. He's going to have to go down there to be able to get up to the feet and possibly even get taken down again in this fight. But once Dricus is able to thwart the takedowns a couple times, I do think it's going to be an uphill battle for Chimaev in this fight. Dricus is a very intelligent fighter. They're going to come in with an incredible game plan. And Dricus even said he's going to go to try to take down Khamzat, which I do think could work if Khamzat is tired. Now, I do think that Khamzat Chimaev is someone who has really never experienced being on his back or being taken down or being into those vulnerable positions that he's going to really need to, possibly be in against Dricus Du Plessis. But Khamzat has a great corner in him. I do think he's going to be cornered well, and I do think he has a game plan as well. But overall, when evaluating this fight, it comes down to the first round and that first shot by Khamzat Chimaev, which is such a crazy thing to say, that one shot is going to determine the entire fight. Look at a fight with Kevin Holland, look at a fight with Li Jingliang, and look at a fight with Robert Whittaker. They were not able to get up from Khamzat Chimaev's grappling. Look at a fight with Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman. They both lost those fights, but they were able to stop it and make it a very, very, very close decisions. Gilbert Burns was he was incredibly smaller than Chimaev and almost won that fight, dropping him in the second round, making him faceplant. Kamaru Usman possibly could have tied that fight, even though he won the second round, and that third round was very, 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 very controversial. And he took that fight on 14 days' notice, and I believe would have won that fight if it was a 5-round co-main event at UFC 294. But like I said, ultimately, I do believe the way Dricus wins this fight is through time. As time keeps elapsing, he's going to be the fresher fighter. Dricus has a great gas tank, shown in that fight with Strickland both times and the Adesanya fight. And ultimately, I do think that Chimaev is going to start crumbling under the pressure in those mid rounds. I'm going to say, you go back to my video that I made about the UFC fight card. I had Dricus winning in the 3rd or 4th round by TKO. And I do think that that's going to happen. Either some submission Chimaev is going to let up, or what I truly think is going to happen is Dricus really get Chimaev out of there as he becomes more tired and tired. Because Dricus himself is an absolute bull inside the octagon. He goes forward all the time. He's going to be someone who's always there. And I genuinely think it's going to be super challenging for Chimaev to go out and deal with in a lot of different regards. So my official prediction, as I had in that last fight, Khamzat Chimaev is going to succumb to Dricus Du Plessis by TKO in the 3rd or 4th round, and I do think it's going to be because Dricus Du Plessis can withstand the takedown, and he's going to be able to get up from the feet and throw it on Chimaev back at him. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA, and please let me know what you think down below in the comment section about Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev, because like I've said multiple times, this is an absolute coin flip of a fight. But if I have to use my hours and hours of UFC, watching and Dricus Du Plessis film and Khamzat Chimaev film, the one thing that scares me the most is Khamzat Chimaev's cardio, and that's the ultimate reason that I think he's going to lose this fight. Now, if Chimaev's cardio is good, it's going to be a very big problem for Dricus Du Plessis. Not saying he won't win, but Dricus is going to have to deal with a barrage of takedowns already. And when those takedowns start getting sloppier and they get sweatier, it's going to be harder for Chimaev to secure them. And I really do think that Dricus Du Plessis has all the skill in the world to truly go out there and really take down himself and beat up Khamzat Chimaev in a lot of different regards. Now, I do think that this is an unpopular opinion of how Dricus Du Plessis is going to go out there and perform, but Dricus has shown me it. Khamzat has not. Khamzat has beaten incredible fighters like Gilbert Burns, Robert Whittaker, Kevin Holland, and Kamaru Usman, even though one of those isn't the same. And I truly do think that Dricus' resume is still better. Bigger guys at middleweight, Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, and Robert Whittaker. Strickland has great takedown defense. Adesanya has great takedown defense. Whittaker has great takedown defense. He was able to take down all those guys. Now, I understand Chimaev was able to take down Whittaker and dominate him more than Dricus did, but I do think that Dricus is going to come in here with a specified game plan for Robert Whittaker, or for Khamzat Chimaev, and really show the fans of why he is the middleweight champion of the world. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA. Please let me know what you think down below in the comment section about this take and about a bunch of different fighters inside the UFC that you would want to see Dricus or Khamzat fight next in their next fight. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon with more UFC content and news.